Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here today with Bev Mayhew, who is the founder of TIRA. We asked her today to really join us to share her insights as to why she founded TIRA, what her beliefs were then, and what her thoughts are now as she reflects on her, decades of service about the benefits of being part of TIRA to the TIRA members as well as to companies who engage their services. So over to you, Bev.
Thanks, Susan. TIRA is the acronym for the International Relocation Associates, a name that we came up with as a conglomeration from all of our members at the time. There were seven initially as we started out on this venture. We started in Hong Kong. The formal organization was established in Hong Kong, but our members were from all around the world. And that was the purpose. The purpose of the creation of TIRA was, and I did have the honor of being the initiator of the organization. I needed like minded organizations and individuals around the world to accept the families that I was sending around the world. People had been the benefactor of services in my countries, and at that point in time, it was only Singapore. But they were then moving on to other locations in the world. And one of their questions by their HR people were, can you find somebody in Timbuktu to help us the way that you helped the family moving into Singapore? And I said, sure, which is what you always say. And I needed to find people who could provide the service. And so we literally networked around the world. And that's how we established members with certain criteria. You had to meet, and then once they met those criteria, they paid a minimal admin fee. I think it was a couple $100s to begin with. And that was purely in those days. We remember these were the days before electronic communications. A lot of it was done by fax or by telephone. And so we did it as a means to support our own organizations. So we could pass business from one to another. And then over time, we passed not only our shared customers to each other, but we actually then began sharing our knowledge and our services because I might have a service in Singapore that they didn't have in, say, San Francisco. And I knew that my client would be expecting that service. And so I would work with the folks in San Francisco and say, okay, this is how you do this, this, and this. And likewise, when people were referring business to one of my locations, they would say, do you have a blankety blank? And I would say, well, no, I don't know how to do that. And they said, well, let us teach you. And so, genuinely, it was not only a referral of business, but it was a referral of knowledge. And that is how much of the industry from that point forward grew, not only in our customer base, but in our knowledge base.
What a
I,
brilliant model, Bev. You really were ahead of your time.
well, I think one of the reasons that we were all so comfortable in doing it is because we were all entrepreneurs in nature and we were all independent business owners. And that led through into the mid 90s. And in the mid 90s was the introduction of the third party companies. So, up until that time, we never had any concern about sharing our information, sharing our knowledge, sharing our customer base.